Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. So here's a story we've been following from New York Post. Joe Biden's secret flights of 33,000 migrants to New York passes the buck to city taxpayers. See, originally we thought this was federal tax dollars going to flying these migrants. They're going to call them. What they really are criminal migrants. The problem to this point is Joe Biden originally sending secret flights into the United States from foreign countries to skip the border patrol altogether, bringing illegals. Apparently, 33,000 of those migrants that went to New York are being funded by the New York taxpayer. If you still live in New York, which I don't know why you would, not only are you funding tens of millions of dollars in cash to criminal migrants, in addition to allowing these same migrants to take up your parks, your school gymnasiums, you name it. Now you're funding the direct flights of them into your country, which the rest of us don't approve of. You're also funding them to come straight to your city and add to the increasing numbers of crime. But let's get into this one. And Mayor Eric Adams keeps blaming Texas Governor Greg Abbott as the culprit responsible for the city's migrant crisis, which has hoovered up millions in taxpayer resources. In the latest broadside, Adams dared Abbott to spend a night in the New York City migrant shelter, while the no thanks Abbott fired back at Adams' sanctuary city policies were aiding and abetting the border disaster. Some 37,000 of New York's estimated 150,000 migrants, or 25%, were bused from Texas. But there's another number, comparable to that Adams should blame on another politician. His name is Joe Biden. A new report from the Center for Immigration Studies finds that the Department of Homeland Security secretly has okayed the flights of some 33,000 illegal immigrants directly into the city of New York region from foreign airports. Not from American airports, from foreign airports directly out of that country into New York City. That's 22% of the city's migrant influx. One of Biden's flying immigrants was a Haitian man, Pierre Lucard Emile, who was recently accused of attacking a developmentally disabled teen girl. The administration reportedly authorized him to fly directly from Haiti into John F. Kennedy International Airport as part of the immigrant flights program. So not only are they importing people that are going to be a drag on your society, they're importing criminals. Trump was right that not everybody that comes across the border is a violent criminal, but it does allow violent crime into our country. Biden is far more responsible than Abbott for New York's troubles because he's doing nothing to enforce border laws in the first place, thus flooding Texas and other southern states with unsustainable numbers of illegal immigrants. Eric Adams is sitting there in New York saying, "I dare you, Greg Abbott, to come spend time in one of our migrant shelters," when Greg Abbott has been dealing with it for his entire tenure as governor, and it's been going on since way before he was governor. Texas has been feeling this way more than New York ever could. And if New York was smart about it, maybe they would start allocating resources into putting them on buses and send them somewhere else, like Greg Abbott had to. They're a sanctuary city, and it's subsidized by the taxpayers at this point. Why would they get rid of them? They're just getting more and more money. Adams has given Biden a total pass on the flights, which Biden could shut down with a phone call, preferring to continue pretending that the Republican Abbott is the cause of Gotham's problems. DHS reports that it has approved the flights of more than 386,000 immigrants directly from foreign airports into the U.S. since launching the program without congressional authorization in January 2023. That's horrific. Tens of millions of dollars allocated to airlines who, from what I understand, aren't they lobbyists? Don't the airlines lobby? Oh, is this Joe Biden paying back a lobbyist? I just got to ask. It makes me wonder. I mean, 386,000 flights. The flights couple $300 a piece right now, and that's just to go from one state inside the United States to another state inside the United States. You're talking about international flights. They got to go through customs. I mean, I assume they go through customs. Who knows? Once they get here, they might just free pass right on in. But if you're an American and you want to go out of the country and come back, you got to go through customs, right? You got to follow the rules. The flights were intended mainly for Cuban, Haitians, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, but since expanded to 5 other nationalities, is alternatively referred to as the CHNV program or the Advanced Travel Authorization Program. U.S.-based sponsors apply for air travel permission on behalf of aspiring illegal border crossers in other countries who provide information via an online program and mobile cell phone app called CBP-1. Then they get here, they get work visas, and then they basically have a social security number, and shortly after that, they're going to want to vote in your elections. Once Biden's U.S. Customs and Border Protection approves their applications, the aspiring illegal border crossers arrange for their own flights by commercial air into a government-approved U.S. international airport, and U.S. Customs inspectors process them into the country. A separate twin program has brought in some 420,000 more from 100 countries at 8 land ports over the past year. So it's even worse. Both programs are predicated on a legally challenged mass use of an authority in the Immigration and Nationality Act that allows the president to grant temporary humanitarian parole into the country of immigrants in emergency situations on a case-by-case basis. So what you're trying to tell me that President Joe Biden is going through all these people's applications on a case-by-case basis and giving them humanitarian parole, and then you expect these people are going to actually show up to the court date and follow that parole, whatever that means? This is insane. But the administration has applied this highly restricted case-by-case parole authority to far greater numbers of foreigners than any other than before. More than a combined 800,000 by both land and airports parolees to reduce the optics of thousands illegally crossing the land border at once. So it's worse than what you just see there in Eagle Pass, Texas, or any of the other border crossing points that we see where these folks are trying to overrun American border guards and crossings and stuff like that. The administration has not coordinated this effort with Adams or any other big city mayors, nor with taxpayers who have to shoulder the cost of hundreds of thousands of people just showing up. Biden has hid where the illegal immigrants are being flown and in what numbers. The administration was so determined to keep this information from the public that it denied a 2023 Center for Immigration Studies Freedom of Information Act request for it. Guys, this is terrible. The administration is so bent on obfuscating the basic program details that its monthly border statistics report presents this section as a strange, unidentified orphan, amorphously tilting it as only CHNV program, and not once mentioning potentially interest-flagging immigrant flights or air travel or airports. Using available public records for the April 1st report, I was able to narrow down the regions receiving these flights, showing that Republican Governor Ron DeSantis' Florida is by far the biggest initial landing zone in the country, with 326,000 through February 1st showing up to that state's many international airports, and the 33,000 into New York area's airports. So, and why would Biden want to inject 326,000 potential Democrat voters into Florida? I'll let you answer that question. And while you're pondering that, consider that over 20,000 dead people tried to register to vote in Missouri last February. They don't tell us anytime somebody comes in. DeSantis said in an April 4th press conference. They don't give us any information on it. They are not coordinating with state government at all. If they throw 6 people on a commercial flight coming from a foreign country, there's no acknowledgement at all to state or local authorities. That's just a fact. DeSantis has a plausible theory about the huge volume of flights landing in Florida, that some perhaps significant percentage of those initially landing there are processed through U.S. Customs to domestic flights and continue onward to cities like New York. If what the governor believes is true, that means the number reaching Gotham is much higher than 33,000. And that would be good that they're all going to New York and not staying in Miami, as a person who wants the state to be red, right? But how many is it really? Mayor Adams doesn't want to know. If he did, he could put pressure on the administration to stop the flights, but he won't. He'll just keep trying to blame Republicans when the danger is coming from inside his own house. So the moral of the story is, we don't know where these people are ending up. We just know that taxpayers that live here in America are fitting the bill as the Biden regime continues to bring secret flights of illegal criminal migrants into our country, and we don't even know where. With the assistance, frankly, of lifelong Democrats and Republicans that all need to be replaced as well. It's time to get some young blood in there. It's time to get the people that have been bought by lobbyists out. And it's time we start making a better future for the young people of this country so that they have the opportunity to pursue the same American dream that the ones that went before them had. And so, with that, I'm going to go and wrap it up. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for giving a guy like me a chance to earn your subscription, and I'll see you guys in the next one.